So this is a little beauty I found on Craigslist. It was listed as small boat 9.9 motor. Now all of that was spelled wrong, but 150 bucks. I was like, well, okay. Outboard boat motor trailer, 150 bucks. Yeah, I'll go get it. So I went down there, and the natural sales pitch was, oh, the motor, no, that's 500 more, but the boat and trailer, that's 150. Now, most of the time when that happens, I say, see ya. But I do need a little trailer for my jet skis. I was like, 150 bucks for a little trailer. It's not bad. But the boat, really, it's not too bad either. So it is a 1963 glass bar Superlight, I believe. It's a 9-foot 6-inch boat. It's really, I don't know, it's not too bad. Everybody else that's seen it in the family, they all hate it. They say it's a piece of crap. In fact, my father said, oh, that's good. I got the Sawzall, and you parked it right next to the dumpster, so that'll be easy. Like, well, I think it's worth fixing, but I don't want to put any money into it. So we'll see how cheaply we can get this thing back in the water. So one thing kind of noticed first off was how flimsy it is. Like, it is a flimsy piece of crap. Now, some of that is because both of its benches, well, one's missing and the other one's not attached, but those benches do kind of add some structure to it. Also, if this bow was actually attached, I think it would stiffen it up quite a bit. But also, I think it's because it's just sitting on the center of the boat here on these rollers, these bunks, they're not actually doing anything. So I think a lot of the flopping is just the way the boat's sitting on the trailer. So I'm going to replace the bunks, and that's what I'm going to start this video doing. So this little mess on my bench here are the bunk brackets. I bought these a while ago on eBay. Never wound up using them. Hopefully I still have them, because that is going to save me a decent amount of money. Now, when you buy these, most of the time, it seems sellers don't include hardware with them, so you got to hunt that down. U-bolts, they ain't cheap, and you need, well, depending on how kind of metal your trailer uses, different sizes, so you got to get those too. These I had left over off of I think it was a jet ski. I don't remember. And then I have these little brackets that are also bunk brackets, also off a jet ski trailer. So what I am doing, let me show you, is I'm robbing the hardware off of them to install onto these bunk brackets to use on my trailer. Alright, these two 2x4s I eyeballed down to about 5 feet, and I'm going to have the old man here wrap them in carpet. This is left over from my C-Spy project. Didn't even need to buy the material.
Okay, so this is the easy way to cut material. You put some weight on it so it doesn't move. You take your razor knife, put it on the edge of the table, and just work your way down. Or you can bring this up and then do a corner like this, and you end up cutting your material, and then you have a little void at the end. It's up to you. There is no rule on how you want to finish the end. But you don't want to staple right to the end, because now is the time when you need to decide how you want to do this. Now, what I like to do is I like to bring this in a little bit, okay, staple at home, okay, both sides, I come in maybe just a half an inch, maybe a little bit less. And now what you can do is take and cut off the excess here, even with the end. Okay, and the same thing over here. You lay that flat, you trim to the point to where you got your staples. You don't want to go beyond the staple. You don't want to go all the way to the edge, so stay back a little bit. Now what you do is you turn around and you lay your razor knife down on the lumber and you cut off. Now let me go ahead and get this stapled down now that I've got that cut. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to bring this up from where you cut, but beyond the cut a little bit down below. So what you want to do is you want to turn around and you want to have a little bit left over. So I want to get rid of all of that extra stuff that's down there. Okay, so how much do I want? I want about that much, so let's get rid of all of this extra. Okay, so that's going to be cut to there, so I want to get rid of all of that. Okay, I don't need this anymore. Okay, and I got to do the same thing over here. I got to cut all of this extra off I don't need. Okay. And that should lay pretty flat. And now I can pull this up. And get real nice and tight here. Okay. Now you can cut off the rest of this stuff you don't need and come in on a little bit of an angle so that you don't see it when the bunks are tight down. So here, same thing. You get rid of this extra, and then you come in a little bit on an angle. And now you staple this, and you staple this. Now you got a nice finished end.
Alright, got the bunks and U-bolts. I'm gonna attach them now. About where the old ones were. We'll adjust it if needed later. And also I'm gonna go up as high as I can with these things and go down later should I need to. Alright, now I'm gonna put the bunk on. I've already attached the back bracket, so I'm going to put it on and then mark the front where the front one goes and then go back inside and screw it on. So looking at it now, it is a little too high. I think I'll lower them all the way down and then see where it takes us, but like I said, I'll fine adjust it later. So that looks ridiculously tall. I think I'm going to go with plan B and just use the jet ski brackets. Yeah, that's a lot better. I'm going to go ahead and put the other side on now. Well, that'll work for now. I think it's much better than what was on there. Next problem, the bunks and the end of the boat. There's, I don't know, 1.5 inches, 2 inches at the end of the bunks versus where the boat starts. The boat should be forward more onto the trailer. So to remedy that, all I gotta do is undo these U-bolts, which are bigger than my wrench. Anyway, undo those, move it forward a few inches. And that's pretty much good enough for now.
At 24.5, and I'm centered on my wood. Let's see what you got. Well, you know, we could cheat and push that in. But
Yeah, not about all that.
okay, hang on, let me center this there, there, so right about there. Hang on here, let me measure this again. 24.25. Check your side again.
24
And an 8, so you got to bump it.
Alright, seats are in. It's been a few days, so that glue is dry, and they're holding up pretty well, and I think they look pretty good. So, hold on a sec. Alright, how to get the steering system. So this little boat, most of the ones I see online, this is what they look like. Open bow front, tiller steer in the rear. This little guy has this little cap that goes on here, making it a little closed bow. Now it's not very wide, so because of that, when you put your steering system in, your cable hangs out about that far. And it doesn't really have any room for the cable to go that way. It just can't make the bend. So what it did was it wrapped around here and came up the port side, ran down, and used a port entry steering cable. That system I have right there is out of a much bigger boat, and it's only made for a starboard entry steering system. I don't want to spend the money to buy a new steering system for a shorter cable, and this one's far too long. You can't reverse it to make it the port side, so I'm gonna have to use this somehow. So what my plan is, in the front here, when I mount the steering system, I'm gonna rotate, ideally it's coming out that way. I'm gonna rotate it all the way around this way. Install the cable in the top just like it should. Only loop it around like that in the bow to still give me the correct entry. Make sense? Good. See what I mean? The cable, how it's kind of laying out, that's kind of the plan. So let's get the top cap. I'm going to reattach that. Here's the underside of the top cap. Not much to it. I just installed the steering system or the helm. I also glued in these aluminum strips all the way around it. Figure when I drill it in, that'll give me a little more surface area, a little more clamping power, if you will. So I'm going to flip it upside down, put it in the boat kinda, and then, I don't know, fit it in there the best I can. Alright, it's kind of looking like Hellraiser here, but whatever. So what I did was jammed a bunch of screwdrivers through the old alignment holes where this thing used to bolt on. That kind of aligned the cap where I think it's supposed to go. And then I used that pipe clamp to suck it in forward. Now what I'll probably do is still raise it up more, but I'm going to start getting the back bolts in, kind of work my way around. So the cap is now installed and the steering system little stub is coming out. Problem is this plate is a little too wide now. I won't go into how I screwed up putting that in, but it happened. So I need to take an inch off of this thing. It's 1 7/8" now. I need to take it down to 7/8. So I put a bolt through it. I'm going to take it over the lathe, give it a good cut. Alright, let's see how this goes. Hey, it worked. You thought I actually had a lathe. First try, huh? So apparently that's not the smartest of ideas. The problem is I cut off the recess for the screw to go in. So now the screw obviously just goes all the way through. This isn't the screw, but the plan is now to drill a larger hole in there to kind of remake my lost recess, and then just use one of these screws because YOLO, you know. All right, last bit to install the steering wheel nut. Are you getting bored over there, baby? Hey, I heard you. I'm coming. I chose this wheel because it looks like a something out of an 80s Econoline. But it is smooth. It's working good. Watch. Look at that. So easy, even a baby could do it. He's pretty much the only one that's going to fit in this boat. Alright, it's been a little while, but finally getting off my butt and finishing this little boat up. Reason I kind of didn't finish it, I was going to register it in Arizona because it's 20 bucks. Arizona wants me to prove that the VIN is engraved onto the boat, and if it's not, or not to the correct size, I need to burn, engrave, carve, whatever, the hull identification number into the boat. So I was thinking, I gotta build up the transom a little bit to hold a little bit thicker of a motor brace. So when I do that, alright, I'll put the CNC machine to use and carve in the lettering. The problem is I never really felt like doing that. It just seemed like a hassle. So I drove across the street and registered it in California. So it now has California numbers on it. Cost 48 bucks, something like that. But I didn't have to do any work, and I got title same day, so good to go, I'd say. Now this custom little rubber thing's got to come off. And the boat is now ready for its transom / Band-Aid. Alright, my little boat here has become a pretty good shelf. But I'll show you what I have ready to go for it. I have a little transom band-aid made up. It's not really a band-aid. The transom is pretty strong. The problem is it's not thick at all. I need a little more meat to it. So I got this cleverly cut up piece of Baltic birch here. Plan is to liquid nails it in and then bolt it in. So, got a little case of liquid nails glue. Now a smart man would use a caulking gun here. But a smart man would also know where his caulking gun is. So we don't have to make do elseways. We'll see how well this works. Chances are I'll be looking for my caulking gun until this thing dries up. Yeah, that wasn't easy, let me tell you. So I got a Dave & Buster's card here. I'm used to kind of spread this around, kind of, best I can. Doesn't need to be perfect. I don't really know if this is even going to do anything. Figured it couldn't hurt. Yeah, I'll add a little more. Why not? Alright, open it. Looks like there's a nameplate there I missed. Pull that out. Yeah, easy peasy. Alright. Double check again. Perfect. Now before it dries, I'm going to get all the anchors back in with a little bit of liquid nails on the washer and or screws. Theory is help seal out the water just a little bit. And if they leak, got too much weight in the boat, probably deserve to sink it anyway. There, perfect. So now what I need to address are these corners. They need something here to support them. The sides are a little weak. So what I came up with, at least my idea so far, it's got this 12 by 12 inch piece of aluminum, slid it down the center. So each one of these is going to rest right here. So it'll kind of look like that when it's done. So the plan here was, these are my corners that I made up. Plan here was to take these to a local welder, get these angle brackets welded on, then, you know, wrong corner, but you get the idea. I bolted it onto the boat. The only problem, the only welder in town that does aluminum is no longer in business, so that kind of sucks. So what I did, or bought rather, is I bought some of these elevator bolts. Plan is to trim down the side, hammer down one of these tabs, and just bolt it on. Good plan, huh? So in full disclosure here, I know you can buy these elevator bolts without these little locking tab things here. Problem is they all have a square base to them. They're almost like a flatter carriage bolt. So I didn't want to go that approach solely because I didn't have a square broach. I looked up the price for a square broach and decided cutting these and bending these would be a better idea. So that's where I am. in case you're curious. Now, should I just cut these off? Probably. And that is kind of the plan. Alright, Bolton's installed. The little flat locking tab kind of worked. I just got to move all of the holes in a little bit. So none of these are going to be aligned now. But for the most part, I think it'll work. Alright, corner is made up. The only problem is I have a little bit of gap here between the crap old transom and my Band-Aid transom. So it's not quite allowing, or going to allow, this thing to sit too flat or give me something good to screw into. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of skim off the top so I can screw straight into the Baltic birch. Just to give you an idea before, granted the boat's moving, but you can still see these sides are pretty weak. Now my plate should fit right in here, just like so. The problem is the sides are still bowed out, so I have this little strap wrench, I guess you'd call it. Pull it in for me. There. I screw it down and call it a day. Now, say what you will about my craptastic repair here, but it sure did add some rigidity to this boat. It no longer feels like it's a spaghetti noodle. It actually feels like it's going to do something now. So, I'm happy with it. What I'm not happy about with this closed corner now, because I think my steering cable won't make the bend. I'm not happy with the sharp corners, but good luck getting away from that one. And I'm probably going to switch these nuts out for some acorn nuts eventually, but for now I'm going to go to with the grinder, cut off all the excess bolt heads. A little less something to grab, if you will. Now this little light pole actually does quite a bit of good. First, it gets rid of junk that I've been hoarding out of the garage, so that's good. If I ever want to add lights to it, well, now I got a light. But most importantly, it gives me a place to hang my little flag. Well, that's it for this boat. Hope you enjoyed it. Quite questions, thoughts, comments, leave them below. Hopefully next time you see this boat, it'll have a motor on the back of it. Alright everybody, I'm going to go back to sanding my pontoon now.